Optimus Prime?
Alright, so one is low, the other is mid. That's it. That's all you need to know. From the outsole in terms of the bottom grip to the upper toe cap bumper, it's 1-to-1 as you can see, running across all the way down to that midfoot cutout section, which appears to make a thick, stiff outsole a lot less stiff. It's still stiff as hell, don't get me wrong, but it's allowing for that flex and where you really need it. I mean, it's quite literally where your foot bends as you skate and flick and just move. And your phalanges. The only notable separation aside from the height of the shoe is going to be that gray suede toe cap bumper for added durability that, in my experience with the shoe, 100% came through. Just, we gonna say 101%. Fuck, why not 1,000? The whole point of that would be defeated if the stitching came up in that suede and it just started flapping like my lips right now because the nigga yapping right now. It held on. She was good to go. So the first Tyshawns, we have a leather build with more of a rigid rubber outsole for that toe cap. Very much sticky, kind of on the harder side of things, to the hard to the touch. I gotta touch things. I like touching hard things. I like it when they're soft though. That's a little weird. Nigga, don't make it weird, okay? Nigga, pause. Don't pause. We don't know. It don't matter. Keep going. Can't afford to pause this many times. The video is too long already. The outsole on the first two are identical, pretty much sticky, long lasting in my experience. Toe cap. The toe cap rubber is grippy with additional micro grit that you see right. The little design patterns for extra grip on top of that grippy grip. On grip. That's what, like I said, we're gonna keep going. No need to pause. It is what it is, man. You a sick puppy. That's all we need to know. Tyshawn Low, this particular colorway, which they looking nice. They looking like, okay, nigga, this a Newport, nigga. I can smoke this, nigga. We have a leather upper and the same type of deal with that toe cap. The same shit, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. Now the point of separation, the toe cap bumper. The difference between the Tyshawn Lows is this additional suede bumper that absolutely comes into play, like I said earlier. Not only that, when the first ones wore down, I would miss my flick a lot more, and just in general, while still sticky out the gate, over time, just the gripping of the board is just ceases to be that. The case is not gripping as much. The catch and the grip of that toe cap bumper, the suede part right there, is just unmatched for me. So I'm going to venture to say I still haven't skated any suede version of these shoes. I think the suede one, definitely a suede in the first ones, I would say. The shoe's probably going to be like one of the best shoes I've skated. Possibly. Definitely better than this leather shit. Because I'm just like a lot more board feel all around. And it's one thing for the outsoles to not really have board feel, which is the case for these, especially the 2's. But when the upper 2 doesn't have that much board feel, it's like, yeah, I just like the suede. I like the suede. Suede, 5-letter word. You know what else is a 5-letter word? Some shit that you would definitely have to pause on if you were to say Tyshawn 2's. We have a leather upper and rubber sticky outsole. Same thing, same damn thing, but the feel is different. It's stiffer. It's the stiffest of the bunch. And even after that break-in, it's far more restrictive just all around. As far as the toe cap goes, specifically, it's really sticky. Double bump toe cap, you know what I'm saying? It sits on that harder side of rubber as opposed to softer. And there's like a little level of like slickness to it. Like a little slick to it. Just a little bit. Not that, again, it lacks grip, but just, you know what it is, man. You start feeling rubber, start playing with it. I don't want to just be making some shit up, but I kind of feel like a little bounce in the heel in the very back where that orange button is. I feel like I feel some feedback kind of when I walk. Oh my goodness. And there's that orange, little orange button. Okay, yeah, you can feel the responsiveness. I wasn't tripping. Okay, you can, because it kind of, I thought it would be like a little tab right here, and then something like something thick above it. But no, this orange button is just all the way through up to there. So yeah, that remains the same. Even in general, there's a good amount of softness to it, but more so around where that button is, obviously. Yeah, I thought it stopped somewhere in between here, around here, but now it goes all the way up. Okay, so that's why I felt the little bounce back somewhat. Nigga, where the fuck am I at right now? I started in a big spin nose slide. They just take a big spin nose slide. Them being leather lands it a bit more on the stiffer side of things, which gets way better once you break them in, but still kind of maintains like an overall little level of stiffness, like at least compared to like a vulcanized sneaker. And to be clear, it's like it's not like a hard and stiff. It's not like problematic levels of stiffness, so don't worry too much on that front. It's just there's a breaking outsole on the bottom that does in fact give it a lot more flexibility, so it's a lot less stiff. Like you're gonna have to break these in right here. You're gonna have to break these in right here. There's like no flex on these at all. Yeah, so the width kind of looks the same, like in this portion. I don't know if this is a little bit wider. Maybe right there for your little bunions or something. I don't know. It kind of looks the same. No, that looks the same more or less. That shit, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Maybe I did have some shit going on there and busted it out more. Now, if anything, it might be a little bit more wide there. Kind of looks the same to me, honestly. But yeah, the toe caps, either way, they get narrow as you get to the tip. This one might get a little more, or does it look like? Looks like this one does get a little more narrow. So it's probably going to be a similar fit to this one, with this one having a little bit more room, if anything, possibly. I mean, we're definitely still being stable. Let me just put this bitch on, because it may look wider than it actually is. Oh, that is comfortable. Oh shit. What the fuck? Yeah, that's pretty comfortable when you put it on. Well, I feel the ground though. I feel that at this point, these bitches, I don't know how ancient these are. The comfort is best for the upper, no doubt, in terms of the Tyshawn 1 and the lows. I would say the 2's aren't bad and do feel comfortable, more so in the neck, but not anywhere else in the shoe, really. It's just in that neck, just the neck of the shoe on the Tyshawn 2's. Oh, we spitting bars right now. We ain't got bars right now. Hold on, motherfucker. What the fuck on nigga trying to give me a beat, nigga? Damn, my hand's too ashy for that. All kinds of dust in this bitch, nigga. So looking at the inside of the shoe, you can see that is a tight fit right there. It's snug, a little fit right there. So it's nice and comforting, basically. You're gonna get a lot of ankle support, especially with this back tab. That part is rubber, but it's also hard. So this is all leather. This part is rubber. Good amount of support. And this back tab, only this back tab has a phenomenal amount of padding. Like, it's dense too. Like, I push it and I feel the pushback, the kickback. The response to it's kind of like slow released. So that means it's pretty dense with a good enough amount of padding that doesn't just flatten out, basically. If only that shit was through and through the neck of the shoe. So it kind of gets lackluster. You don't really feel much in terms of, but it's still something there. And you can also see the curvature of the insole and everything else. So that's just gonna really give you that support and that portion of your foot. So you're getting the insole with a good amount of cupping, as well as the actual shoe, the neck of the shoe. And it does expand, so it's not like you gotta squeeze in there and it's a bad time. No, in the conclusion, we'll get more into that, but you just through and through the Tyshawn 1s and even the lows have more. Well, good god damn, them bitches toasted. They went from fresh in a motherfucker to, yeah, being on some bullshit real quick too. Again, that scuffing damage is whatever. I'm not too worried about it. In terms of the leather and the rubber toe cap, a little bit of memes going on right there, but not too concerned right now. But it's been early on, so. But what I am worried about is the stitching. That's just already done. Oh, yeah. So at a point, so I can actually get some clips in these, I might have to shoot glue that back down because it's already caught. You already know it's blowing up. And then right here it's starting to come up. I'll leave that alone though. Right here, stitching here and there. Yeah, so that might just be on some bullshit. It looks like there's this outer layer, but this layer under it is kind of, is that supposed to be separate right there? Looks like it's coming up too, so it don't really matter too much. Got some tearing up here, but how the fuck do you do it right here? This is my switch foot. What the fuck? As you can see on this right here in the midsole right here, starting to break up a little bit, and that toe cap's kind of come up, but nothing too crazy or anything like that. That's just the weakest point from the way I went about skating them. So you can see the highest impact spots right here that took the most damage based on my trick selection and yada yada yada, which is not, it's just standard shit like kick flips, a bunch of kick flips, 360 flips, and it just regular skating. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, nigga, the longevity on this, there's no way. This one, however, it's holding on way stronger. Way stronger. But based on the leather and the material, I was having that issue where I was kind of missing my flick here and there. Wasn't really gripping and connecting with the board. So that was like an issue with this one, even though it's not worn all the way through the toe cap. But the upper and everything else didn't take too much of a beating. And this one is infinitely more comfortable, as you can tell. But skating some of these other shoes, putting this on, you really do feel that comfort here. But that's about where it stops. Well, the outsole does have support too. So standing in them, it's comfortable. It's more so, there's a decent amount of comfort to these, but there's a major lack of board feel. There's a lack of board feel with these ones too. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast when you skate stuff like this. But this is obviously a midsole, so there's all this padding, but I feel like it's padded within. Not just the neck and the upper, but just the whole thing. That just feels way more comfortable. Even though this bitch is broken in, this shit is goodness. This shit's been sitting in the car like a long ass. Shit look like a rubber band, an old ass rubber band, little. Or when the worms get washed out, and then the motherfucking sun comes and bakes them. Yeah, so this feels good. Damn, those ones have way less board feel actually. But yeah, the comfort on these ones overall, not that those are bad, but in comparison to these ones, because again, it is a mid-top, there's more comfort to go around. And they actually took advantage of it instead of just skimping out on it. This one feels good. Pretty damn good. I can just see myself missing the flip now already though. But yeah, it's more susceptible to damage the way it's built. Look at that lace bed housing, and that did go pretty quick. Luckily, I didn't have to shoe glue it, even though I'm at the point where you need to. And nigga, you at the point of, you need some lotion, nigga. You need to pray over the bottle of lotion first. But see, this lace bed housing didn't even take any damage, really. Whereas this one, the way it's designed, stitching busted up. And rather quickly, like I was talking about. So yeah, and after a while, the laces did rip, because I could see I put some shoe glue on now. But yeah, this one is just more all around, just better. For me, at least. These ones are stiff as hell, and they're still stiff. Pissing me off. But yeah, as far as the literal rubber, that wear is ridiculous. The leather, that's actually like superficial. You see that damage? It's not really deep. But it did that right away, like just from out the box. I didn't have leather. I forgot what type of leather or pleather. Maybe it's some bullshit. That is, but look at this one.
all the flicking and all the damage. So this is the first, maybe the second pair of shoes I had that were leather, and it just instantly did that. I didn't like that shit. I'm looking down, that shit was looking weird. But good thing it's not actual damage, it's just like scratching off the surface here. This one's probably more advanced, I want to say, overall. With that overall impact. It's just, why can't you just make these higher up? Or more comfort, or not as stiff, I don't know. It's whatever. So at this point, I didn't think they would, but they probably are going to phase out. I think they're going to keep the lows. The lows are pretty different too, though. They're similar to the one. No, they're different enough, actually. I initially thought they were like super similar. So yeah, you might not be able to get the ones too much, like frequently. You just find whatever's remaining at shops, online, or whatever. But you can still find them, so don't get me wrong. They're pretty cheap too. I think these are getting phased out too, the shop ones. First and foremost, the laces are, well, I'm actually, that's what. Secondly,
It's supposed.
damn, look at that shit. With the exception of it aesthetically looking more fucked up than it actually is. But yeah, that's just, that surface level damage basically. I didn't know what it was gonna be. But yeah, the leather's completely, pretty much unfazed. The rubber was, and then it did start to wear up a little bit. Still nothing that I'm worried about, but there's more damage to it now that you can see. And then the stitching, yeah, you can shoe glue, super glue, all that. But I don't do that for reviews. Unless the shoe is so blown out and I have no tricks in it, no clips or anything. And I can pretty much call it like this. If I let this go a couple more days, like this is already kind of, you already know what's gonna happen, basically.